Well, good morning, and it's a great pleasure to be here with you this morning. I'm the IT guy in the crowd, and what we're going to talk about today is, survival not being a birthright. If there's any motivation, as Malcolm and others talk about, for innovation and new ideas, it is survival. I live and work in the Boston area. We can look at companies that were standards in their industry for literally decades, sometimes a century or more. I drive up and down Route 128 and see the ruins of the mini computer and some of the PC and client server industry. Survival is not a birthright. So great motivation. And what is it about companies that don't survive? Is it hubris? Is it making a few wrong bets? I would actually argue it is sometimes the wrong vision, blurry vision, in many cases no vision at all. So it is up to us as leaders in our various industries and businesses to always look ahead, see around the corners, think about ways of doing things that are different. It is that sort of outsider's view, but do it within the context of the industry that you're in and the business you're trying to drive. Actually, it is that diversity of perspectives that do help you see around the corner. By doing so, we believe that's how you surf the next big wave. And in certainly the IT industry, information technology, there is tremendous disruption and transformation occurring at every level of the stack. This is where we see cloud meeting big data. Our big idea, IT becomes a service, big data around embracing all of the information that's being created to deliver value and insight. And we'll talk about how we think about doing that. So what's really driving this now at this particular point in time? Really there's three things that are coming together, a confluence that is really causing all of us to think about IT very differently. Certainly the macroeconomics, I don't have to talk about what's happening all around the world. But even in our own IT industry, we have been very frustrated by the fact that the vast majority of IT budgets have gone to just maintaining, keeping the lights on, and not really driving new business, new innovation, and new ideas in your company. And that has to change to invest for the future. The second major transformation occurring is in the technology itself. And we think about this in four layers: infrastructure, applications, access, and data. At the infrastructure level, many of us in this room can talk about chapter and verse. Moore's Law continues to be alive and well, going into its fourth decade. The amount of processing power continuing to be made available to solve very challenging problems at the infrastructure. Virtualization. The ability to add flexibility and agility into that infrastructure is really bearing out, delivering IT as a service in cloud-like environments. The second major disruption is at the application layer. Agile development methodologies, reusable code, modular, and when you think about these new frameworks and Ruby on Rails and Groovy on Grails and new programming models for unstructured data around Hadoop and Pig and Hive. And I'm telling you, if you want to know what all of that means, get your sons and daughters in Generation Y to explain how programming is now done in this new world. And it is a new world and one that has to be embraced. The third major disruption is happening at the access layer. It wasn't too long ago that many of us in this room declared victory. We finally had those few configurations of our access devices. We used to call them PCs. and we'd lock down those images and had configuration management and patch management. And we sat back and said, life is great. And then along came smartphones and iPads and the new generation, where they're not bringing in just their own devices into the work, but they're bringing in their own information, their own tools, and the ability to derive new capabilities from the way you access. So it's no longer important to provision the device. You actually have to provision that user experience and manage that user experience. And then finally, big data itself. Data is growing at a phenomenal and increasing rate. And not only is big data here upon us in volume, but it's the fact that it's unstructured, doesn't fit in the neat rows and columns of a database very well. It is in multiple different silos, inside your company, outside your company, and you want information and value out of that information now more and more in real time. The interesting opportunity, challenge yes, but opportunity is how do we embrace not any one of these, but all four of these disruptions and transformations that are happening at every level of the stack of IT. The third, so we talked about economics, all of the disruption around the technology. The third trend that is coming together is consumerization. And consumerization has actually given us a lot of these new ideas that we are now embracing even in enterprise IT. And it is this sort of new generation of instant gratification. I want it now, I want it in real time, I'll experiment, and if it works, great, and if it doesn't, that's okay, I'll change it and try something different. That consumerization is driving a tremendous amount of impact in IT, and it's really putting this all together and how to derive now insights out of all of this change and disruption that's occurring, and how to derive insights from all of that that's happening around us. So, economics. Challenging, yes. Opportunity, you bet. Technology, disruption at every layer of the IT stack. Really, the first time in the history of IT that all four layers of the stack are being disrupted simultaneously. Huge challenge, absolutely. Opportunity, you bet. Consumerization of IT, that notion of do it now, do it fast, instant gratification, trial and error, challenging, absolutely. Adding value and an opportunity, you bet. So, our big idea is how do you actually put all of that together? We call that cloud computing, and cloud meets big data. And all of you are in fact grappling this with today. Whether you actually realize it or not, you are operating in this mode and will be operating more and more going forward. So our view is that cloud and big data, these are not nouns, these are adjectives. This is a style of computing. The enterprise IT that you have in the four walls of your data center is being transformed. It is being virtualized. It's being standardized. And you're providing that flexibility inside the four walls of your data center to provide IT as a service. You're also working with partners around various public cloud capabilities, whether it's a trusted service provider that you've worked with for many years, new SaaS providers, software as a service, new capabilities, and really a key job now of a CIO going forward is really a portfolio manager, really an aggregator of how IT gets delivered as a service and where that can be most efficiently and effectively delivered as a flexible service inside the data center or from a trusted service provider outside. We refer to this as the hybrid cloud model, and then you have the applications and the access on top of that. Of course, we don't believe any one company can deliver this capability on its own. And this is really where an ecosystem of partners, examples such as EMC and HCL working together for your benefit to deliver the capabilities and the perspectives of what's happening at each layer of the stack and how to embrace this as opportunity. And so when you do that, you actually get tremendous value. Like a pharmaceutical company that in 1 year, infrastructure costs can be reduced by 24%. A financial services company having their own big idea about transforming the way that transactions are done by their consumers and being able to roll out new products and new services in less than half the time previously. Another financial services company determining how to take their own internal IT sets of services, repackaging those, and delivering them as cloud services to their customers in their markets. And to government entities where consumers can actually interact with government in a way that they are used to with their consumer-type devices, and really, again, transforming the way government services are delivered. So we have the opportunity. The challenges are immense around economics, around vastly changing technology disruptions and transformations, and around the consumerization of IT and the next generation of workers coming with their own ideas of how IT should help solve business problems. Our opportunity is to innovate by bringing this all together and embracing it. Thank you.